If this is your first flight ever, don't leave for the airport until you have watched this video. In the next few minutes, I will show you exactly what happens from entering the airport to boarding your flight. You will learn what to carry, how check-in works, how security works, how to find your gate, and the common mistakes first-time flyers make. These basics stay same no matter which airport you are flying from. So once we have watched this, you are ready. Let's get started. Your airport journey actually begins before you leave your house. A few minutes of preparation can save you a lot of stress later. The first thing to do is to check your flight status on your airline's app or website. Although most flights operate as scheduled, delays or time changes can happen, so it's always worth checking before you leave. If your airline offers web check-in, complete it in advance. It usually opens 24 to 48 hours before departure, depending on the airline. Web check-in saves time at the airport and often lets you choose your preferred seat. Next, keep your travel documents ready. For domestic flights, carry a valid government-issued photo ID such as an Aadhaar card, passport, driving license, or another accepted ID. For international flights, you will need your passport and, depending on your destination, a valid visa and any other required travel documents. If you are using digital boarding pass, make sure your phone is fully charged before leaving home. It is also a good idea to take screenshot of your boarding pass so you can access it even if your internet connection isn't working. One more important thing before you leaving home, make sure you know which terminal your flight departs from. One of the biggest mistakes first-time passengers make is arriving too late. For domestic flights, it's generally recommended to reach the airport around 2 hours before departure. For international flights, aim for around 3 hours before departure, since you will also need to complete immigration and additional formalities. Remember, your flight doesn't start boarding at departure time. Boarding usually begins around 30 to 45 minutes before departure, and the boarding gate closes well before the aircraft takes off. So if you arrive late, you may miss your flight even though the aircraft is still parked at the airport. Also keep local traffic in mind. Always leave with some extra buffer time. It's much better to spend a few extra minutes relaxing at the airport than rushing because of the traffic. Before you start packing, there is one thing you should know. Most airlines allow two types of baggages: checked baggage and cabin baggage. Checked baggage is the luggage you hand over to the airline during check-in, while cabin baggage is the bag you carry with you onto the aircraft. The baggage allowance depend on your airline and ticket type, so always check your airline's website or app before packing. If your luggage exceeds the permitted weight, you will have to pay excess baggage charges at the airport. Keep valuables like your phone, laptop, camera, passport, important documents in your cabin baggage. Power banks and spare lithium batteries should also always be carried in your cabin baggage, never in your checked baggage. Check your airline's baggage guidelines before your travel day to avoid any surprises at the airport. Once you have reached the airport, before you get out of your car, take a quick moment to make sure you have everything with you: your phone, your wallet, your valid ID, your boarding pass, baggage, etc. It might sound obvious, but many first-time passengers realize they have left something behind only after reaching the terminal. Once you are ready, follow the signs for departure. If someone is dropping you off, unload your luggage and move towards entrance, as vehicles are usually allowed to stop only briefly outside the terminal. At all airports in India, only passengers with valid tickets are allowed inside the terminal. Before you reach the entrance, keep your boarding pass and a valid photo ID ready. The security staff will quickly verify your documents before allowing you to enter. If you have registered with DigiYatra, you can use the dedicated DigiYatra gate wherever it's available. Instead of showing your boarding pass and ID at every checkpoint, DigiYatra uses facial recognition to verify your identity, making the process faster. If you haven't registered, Don't worry at all. The regular entry process is just as simple and only takes a little longer. Once your documents are verified, you are officially inside the airport. Now, don't join the first queue you see. Instead, look for the large flight information display screens. These screens show your flight number, destination, departure time, flight status, and the check in counter assigned to your airline. Once you find your counter, head there. If you have already completed web check in and you are traveling with only cabin baggage, some airlines allow you to skip regular check in counter and head straight to the security. However, if you are carrying checked in baggage, you will still need to visit your airline's counter or a self baggage drop machine if one is available. The airline staff will verify your booking, weigh your luggage, attach a baggage tag, and send you a suitcase to the aircraft. If you haven't checked in online, they will also issue your boarding pass. Many airports now have self check in kiosks where you can print your boarding pass yourself. If you are unsure how to use one, don't hesitate to ask an airport staff member. They are there to help and assist first time passengers every day. Before leaving the counter, take a quick look at your boarding pass. Make sure your name, destination, flight number, departure time, and boarding gate, if already assigned, are correct. Once that's done, you are ready for the next step, security screening. Next comes the security check. Place your cabin baggage on the X-ray conveyor belt and put items like your phone, wallet, keys, watch, and other metal objects in the tray. You may also be asked to remove larger electronic devices such as laptops for separate screening. While your bag goes through the X-ray machine, you will walk through a metal detector and undergo a quick security check by security personnel. Once you are cleared, collect your belongings, make sure you haven't left anything behind, and head to the departure area. Congratulations, the airport formalities are now over. After security, you will enter the departure area where you will wait until it's time to board your flight. The first thing you should do is check the flight information display screens again. These screens show your boarding gate, boarding time, and any updates to your flight. Even if your gate is printed on your boarding pass, it's worth checking the screens because gates can sometimes change. Once you have confirmed your gate, head there first. If boarding hasn't started yet, you can use the remaining time to explore the terminal. Most airports have cafes, restaurants, convenience stores, washrooms, drinking water stations, charging points, and sometimes airport lounges. Just make sure you keep an eye on the boarding screens and listen for announcements. Boarding usually begins around 30 to 45 minutes before departure. When your flight is ready, the airline will announce the boarding and update the information on the display screens.
As your preferred airline. नमस्कार उड़ान संख्या 6E5114 अहमदाबाद से बॉम्बे जा रहे हैं हमारे सभी यात्रियों का स्वागत है।
Keep your boarding pass ready. The staff will scan it before allowing you to board. Depending on where your aircraft is parked, you will either walk through an aero bridge directly into the aircraft or board an airport shuttle bus that takes you into the plane. Both are completely normal. Once you are inside the aircraft, find your seat using the seat number printed on your boarding pass. Place your cabin baggage in the overhead compartment or under the seat in front of you if it fits. Keep your phone, wallet, passport, medicines, and other important items with you. Fasten your seatbelt, listen to the safety demonstration, and you are ready for the takeoff. Congratulations, you have officially completed the airport process. Once your flight lands, follow the signs for arrivals or baggage claim. If you checked in a suitcase, the cabin crew may announce your baggage belt number after the aircraft arrives. If not, simply check the display screens in the baggage claim area to find your flight's baggage belt and collect your luggage. If you are traveling with only cabin baggage, you can simply follow the exit signs and leave the airport. If your checked baggage doesn't arrive, report it immediately at your airline's baggage service desk before leaving the airport. Once you have all your belongings, follow the exit signs to meet your family, book a taxi, or continue your journey. Before we finish, here are some common mistakes first time flyers make. First, arriving late at the airport. Second, not checking your flight status before leaving home. Third, going to the wrong terminal. Fourth, not checking your baggage allowance. Fifth, packing important items in checked in baggage. Sixth, forgetting your belongings at the security checkpoint. And finally, if you are ever confused about anything, don't hesitate to ask an airport or airline staff member. They assist first time flyers every day and are always happy to help. That's everything you need to know before your first flight in India. The first flight always feels a little intimidating, but once you have experienced it, you will realize the entire process is much simpler than it seems. This video covers the basics that apply to almost every airport in India. In this series, I will also be creating detailed guides for individual airports where I'll cover everything specific to each airport from reaching the terminal to boarding your flight. If you found this guide helpful, consider subscribing so you don't miss the upcoming airport guides. Thank you for watching, and until then, clear skies and safe travels.